Okay, welcome everyone. Good to see you all over here today. Okay. Um, Amen. Can we know a little bit about you also? So more from the point that we've already seen your LinkedIn profile and everything. Um, More to do with what is your understanding of emotional intelligence, mindfulness? What have you practiced? What do you know? So from that.
Thank you, Sachin. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. It's Sachin or Sachin?
The first one, Sachin.
Sachin.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for the time. My name is Iman, and I am from Sudan, but originally born and raised in UAE. Um, I'm currently working in human resources division as an employee employee relations executive. The reason why I have been always been interested about developing my skills in emotional intelligence, because I do believe that I am working in a field which is all related to people, and in order for me to be effective in dealing with people, I have to be emotionally intelligent, which means that what I understand about emotional intelligence is that I have to be controlling my emotions, and at the same time understanding people's emotions, and that by that managing my emotions and people's emotions, by that we can manage conflicts and or avoid conflicts at the same time, and be very effective when it comes to communicating with people. I'll give you a scenario about myself. I am a person who is very emotional myself, in terms of I am very sensitive, and I mean, I will say that because we are all learning, but it can come to a point where I can actually cry at the workplace because of me getting emotional about a particular scenario. And the reason why I have been always wanting to learn about emotional intelligence, because I want to cross that factor where I get very emotional. It's good to be emotional at some point of time, but in order for me to progress in my career, I really need to develop my emotional intelligence skills. So that's it from my side.
Okay. And do you follow any practices? How do you develop your emotional intelligence currently?
At the moment, to be honest, I'm watching a lot of videos on YouTube, and I have bought a small book. It's called a handbook, a guide for emotional intelligence. It gives us a few tips on how we can lock down our emotions at the current time. For example, if I am at the workplace and something happened where I became very emotional, then I have to keep a log of that record or of that particular situation. I have to mention what exactly happened, what made me become so emotional, what could I have done to make it better. Yeah, so this is what I am currently doing. And yeah, just reading online materials. But the next step, what I'm planning to do, because now I'm learning persuasion skills, I'm going to read a book for emotional intelligence and deliver a training for my team members, so that I can learn better and also teach my team.
So thanks for sharing that. This is Ambika.
Thank you.
I also hold these records with Sachin, and today I ran a little later than in my online workout, so I just joined in late. But I heard the word persuasion. So is this Robert Cialdini's that you're reading?
No, I am actually reading a book called it's by Darren Brown. It's called Playing with People. It's called The Mind Game, and it's all about mentalism. So it is all about knowing how to manipulate people's mind and understanding how people think and how people get persuaded. Because to be honest with you, it's all related to magic, but in the real world, there's no such. I do believe that there's no such thing as magic, but it's all about tricks and how you manipulate people's mind, and by that you get to persuade people to believe what you want them to believe. So that is how it's. This is how I'm learning persuasion skills. Yeah.
Glad to know.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Iman.
Thank you.
What happened? Okay, so very quickly I will just give you a brief on what we are doing over here in this call. The intention of this call is...
Hi Sachin, sorry to interrupt you, but your volume is still very low and I'm unable to hear you. Not sure if the rest can hear you as well. If you can just raise your volume a little bit.
What about everybody else? Is my voice better or? Okay. I don't really know what I can do from my side because I'm using my headset now. I wasn't using headset before.
I'll just ask, Amin, can you hear my voice properly?
No, it was very good in the beginning when you first started, but now it's also very low. I will try to use a headset. It might get better.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Right. So the intention of these calls is not that we are doing any kind of lecturing, or it's not a webinar, it's not a training. It's not that we will say we should do this, we should do that. So there is no such thing. This is a contemplation space, and by contemplation space what we mean is that we are all aware of what is going on in our lives. Pragya shared some stories around that as well. Iman also talked about it. So we are all aware of what is going on in our lives, but sometimes we don't get a chance to sit down and contemplate and look at the situation from all different angles. And maybe we sometimes need more angles also. So maybe all the angles that we know are not enough. So this is a space where we can think and contemplate on our own problems. We don't have to discuss those things, people, situation, names over here. This is not a coaching or counseling call. Once again, just sharing. And when people explore their own stories, things come up. And the example of these are all in the previous calls. So if you hear the recordings of the previous calls, then you will really get the power of this contemplation space, where we started the call with no agenda, nothing, and by the end some very beautiful messages came out, some very beautiful exploration came out, which none of us actually were aiming for. We didn't even know that the call will end with that and what will happen, and that is the intention. Yesterday we had a very nice call. In that one, we were exploring the difference between a training space and a contemplation space. So I'll just share that very quickly over here. When we go in some kind of training or coaching or anything like that kind of space, we have some objective in mind. We have a question in mind and we want to have answer for that question. If we are going for a training, we know why we are going for that training. We have lack of certain skills, or we want to improve certain skills, and that is why we are going. So we are very clear. But what if you don't even know what question to ask? So sometimes in life there are situations where we don't even know what questions to ask. If you know the question, that's good. So I'm not saying training is not good and this is good or that is good. There is no such thing. I'm just saying there is place for both things. So let's not confuse and let's not think everything is about that only. So this is a space where we come blank slate, empty-minded, no questions in mind, and ready to go in any direction, wherever the whole conversation takes us. And that is the power of this space. And the proof, as I said, is in the previous conversations, where you will see that all the participants came. We also didn't know what we will talk about. They also didn't know what they will talk about. From the conversation, something started and we picked it up and we explored. Think of it like you are just sitting with a cup of tea with some friends, and there's no agenda, nothing. We're just sitting. Someone started talking about something. We all participate and we all just contribute in that conversation, and then see where that goes. Having said that, there is no agenda, there is no topics, but overall theme of these talks are still around mindfulness and emotional intelligence. So we are not joining here to discuss politics or and things like that. So it's not open-ended that way. We have defined like a playground that the theme has to be around mindfulness and emotional intelligence. Within that space, anything we can talk and discuss. So that's the intention of these calls.
So yesterday, Vaibhav, you wrote to me about a listening space that you want to create for your parents. So Vaibhav is the teacher and he works with children. And would you want to talk about that today? Vaibhav?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So first of all, thank you Sachin and Ambika for that wonderful 2 or 3 circles which I have attended. So thank you so much for hosting this. Is my voice audible?
Yes. Very clear.
Yes.
Very clear.
Yeah. So we explored because we were sensing somewhere we live in a community. So even though I'm a just teacher and the others are parent of their particular children, but because we live in a community setup, we all become just an adult. And when we have any conversation somewhere or other, my own child comes into the picture, and then I start associating and not able to have a detached conversation without taking any names or anything. So I like this idea of like developing this skill of listening and communication. Mm-hmm. So we hosted the circle, and so my instruction were like, I gave some instruction that why we are doing it, and on that itself we had a half an hour of conversation how I pursue certain things. So there was an interesting question which came up, which I would like to put forth.
Yes.
The question came up was, let's say there are 2 people and they are sharing about the same problem or the same situation or issue, but as a listener, I know this is person A, and I know all the past and I have a connection association with that person, and I know there is a person B. So based upon my previous knowledge and all this understanding and my connection, I will perceive it differently. I will put that into that context. If person A is speaking, it's speaking with that context, he or she is like that. And if person B is taking, I will perceive it differently. I will listen it differently. So my response will also vary. So that was interesting so whether I have to do that or it becomes mechanical if I just remove that, if I remove that all the background, then that question itself doesn't make a sense because I want to see that question in that context. So where to put a context and where not to put a context become a question. So such questions were coming up.
That are automatically in that background.
Yeah, but it has become kind of a second nature.
Yeah.
It's happened.
To be honest, I actually didn't fully understand the question. Are you, when you say context, are you saying that you are putting your own bias?
Yeah, I am coloring it because I know that person so well.
Right. Okay.
So I will figure it out what to speak, how to respond.
I'll customize it.
Haan.
Yeah, very well picked.
You know Zig Ziglar? Zig Ziglar
Heard about
says
little.
something. Yeah, it's a very nice sentence that he says that you are listening faster than I can speak. Okay. So we'll put this question as an open question to everyone. So Pragya, Iman, and Madhvi, all are open to chip in. What do you think? What Vaibhav has said? Have you experienced this yourself?
And just before everybody starts speaking, I just want to tell that as a host, for the recording to be seamless, sometimes we may mute you, but whenever you want to speak, please unmute yourself and speak. Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, we have someone joined in.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, this is Swati.
Oh, hi Swati, how are you doing?
Good. Glad to see
You just joined at a very good time because we have some new people and we were doing some introduction and Vaibhav just asked some question and we just opened it up for conversation. He asked that when there is a conversation happening, if there are two people talking, one, let's say I know that person and the other person I don't know. So if they are both saying the same thing, but the person who I know, I will listen to their. Sorry, I'm just going to mute you. Little background noise is there. So the person who we know, we sometimes get more meaning or attach more meaning to what they are saying because we feel that we know this person, we know how they think, we know what they are trying to say and all that, and we bias their message with our own perception. Whereas when someone new is saying something, then I'm listening more intent and attentively because I don't have anything to attach to it. And we just opened this question up that what do everybody think about that? Have we experienced this and what does it mean? And in what way this is good or bad or whatever. So everyone is almost muted. If you want to say something, you have to unmute yourself and talk. Hello. Can you all hear us?
Hello.
Yes. Madhvi. Yes.
Hi. Am I audible?
You now. Yes.
Yeah,
now you are.
Finally.
I was trying my best, doing all sort of things. Thank you so much. Sorry to join you late, but I could hear everything. Only thing I could not respond. Okay.
Okay, so no problem.
Yes.
So what do you think what we are talking about right now? What do you think about that?
Personally, I feel whenever somebody asks a question rather than a perception, we just pick up what we want to listen. We hear actually, but we pick up what we want to listen, and that perception joins in. So that's why what we give is according to what we have picked up from that question, and we're already made up our mind. So that is where we need to practice a mindfulness.
All right. Okay. So how can we practice mind? What do you mean by practice mindfulness?
Mindfulness means you have to be in the present. You have to see your thoughts, your feelings. You have to concentrate on what it is without any bias, or maybe you can see that whatever you want to answer, you have to be in that moment. You need to feel it. That. So you need to sense that present moment rather than just doing what is happened in the past or imagining what is in the future. So that is what is mindfulness to me. And that's what, when somebody is asking a question, you have to in the present, in that moment, rather than hopping in what has happened in the past or what are your views about him. Maybe that what question is asked is not pertaining to what has happened in the past.
Yeah.
And how to be in that state of mind. That's so. What you said, that makes sense. Now my next question would be that, but what to do? How to be in that? So it sounds nice to be in the present moment, but what exactly am I supposed to do?
Yeah, you need to practice actually these thoughts. You need to be in the moment. That means you have to listen carefully. You should not hear that I'm hearing something. The hearing and the listening, there is a difference. So you have to listen to something. So you need to be in that moment and feel what he's asked and do that question or whatever answer. You need to think about it. Okay, what it can be the solution you can find to it, rather than what he says that I know about that person. So that does not make sense. You know about the person, it's fine. But what he is asking, maybe it's different. So this is how I feel that you need to be in the moment.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Great. Let's hear from others as well. Swati, do you have anything to add to this? Swati, Pragya, Ayman, you all muted, so you have to unmute and talk.
The another thing I would like to add is that you need to accept that others' feeling, thoughts, or what is asked. That is also one of the acknowledge what is asked, rather than making your decisions beforehand.
Okay.
Yeah. I also feel that all of us have been on the part where we felt that we were unheard. And I think that is a part which is easily relatable. Then, like to begin this inquiry, to begin this practice that Madhvi is putting in the circle, I feel the best thing is to see where you felt completely unheard, where you felt that, okay, this is not what I mean. Like, why is this person taking it like that? You know? And I think that's where we understand, oh, so this is what I might be doing for others. And this is where the miss is. Right. So for me personally, that has been my assignment. That whenever I felt that I was misunderstood, I felt I was unheard, it became easier for me to see of what is happening with the other person and then correlating it when I do that to someone else. I think that's what I feel and I do as a person who practices listening. Yeah.
So I feel it is not about known or unknown person, or the experiences which we had with them, or the knowing of their beliefs or something like that. It is always about us, how we perceive it, and how we perceive it about with our past experiences about every situation, everything. So what happens when someone talks to me something, or someone wants to share something, I reconnect it with my experiences. I reconnect with my beliefs. I reconnect it with whatever I had gone through. And then I try to give solution, whether it is known, whether it is unknown. And at that moment, I guess our feedback to that person, or the known or unknown, remains same. It's just new for someone who knows us, who don't know us. It is new for him or her to understand it and, to know it, that wow, she or he is giving me solution. And the known person will say, okay, this is what I know you were supposed to say. That's fine. So this is what my feeling is.
Okay. Good. So when I was listening to Vaibhav's question, something came to my mind. When we talk about the present moment, that as Madhvi said, that we have to be present to listen to that person. We shouldn't be attaching any kind of perception. We should be present. So when she was talking about it, something came to my mind on that topic. So present moment, some people also refer to as let's say here and now. When we listen to this word present moment or here and now, again, this may not be your understanding, but generally speaking, as many people I have spoken to relate present moment here and now to a unit of time. We feel that present means it's a unit of time. However, you will I'll share something with you and you'll realize that here and now or present moment is not only a unit of time. So there are three levels of how to look at this. So again, answering Vaibhav's question in a bit more roundabout fashion, but I'll connect the dots after I finish talking. So we'll consider three levels over here. One, present moment, which is here and now, a unit of time. It's a physical thing. So when it's a physical thing, it's a unit of time. Here and now is in time and space. And I can't be anywhere else. That is physically impossible for me to be anywhere else. I am here and now, right now. I am in this space, I am in this time. So physically impossible for me to be anywhere else. Now, that is not the limitation, then where is the limitation? So second level, if we look at it, is the level of the mind. So in mind, I might be in the past or I might be in the future. So while I am here and now physically present in this space and time, I might be occupied either in past or I might be occupied in future. I might have an interaction with someone, and that interaction has given a certain emotion or a certain feeling to me, and I'm trapped in that feeling. I'm trapped in that emotion. I'm trapped in the past. So so something may have happened, let's say months or years ago, and the wound is still fresh in my mind. I continue to play the record again and again in my mind. So I actually never moved on. So that when I say here and now, then I'm still stuck in the here and now of that past. I have not moved on. So my here and now has not finished. It started maybe 1 year back, and I got stuck in that moment, and I'm still carrying on. And that could be the emotion that I might be carrying on about this person that I'm speaking to. So now 1 year has passed. The person may have changed. The person doesn't even remember that I'm stuck there. But every time I speak to this person, that person is in front of me, it reminds me. That anchoring is very strong. The anchoring of that moment is so strong that I'm stuck there. And the person has moved on. They don't know that this anchoring has taken place in my mind. And now every time they speak something, they do something, it just reminds me of that incident. It just reminds me what happened there, and I relate everything that they talk about, and I just add that perception of mine to that one. So that is the limitation of my mind, which doesn't allow me to be physically present here and now. Physically I'm here and now, where else will I go? But mentally I am not. Mentally I am somewhere else. Then third part is the part of the intellect. So intellectually I created a certain image about a person, and I am now stuck with that image. Once again, the person has moved on. We all change. And a very good example is that we are having this conversation right now, right? So whatever you were at 11 o'clock, by 12 o'clock, I'm sure that at least like maybe 0.005% change will happen in you because of what we are talking over here. It will happen in me also from this conversation. So we are all changing all the time, but we don't recognize this for us and for others. Or sometimes we just go with this thought that people don't change, which is a very stupid or impractical belief anyway. We are all changing physically. I don't look the same I used to look 5 years or 10 years or 20 years ago. What was important to me 20 years ago is not important to me today. Things change all the time. Okay, but this comes to, for some reasons, this stupid belief is there that people don't change, and we just stick with that. Anyway, I don't believe in that. We are all changing all the time, but sometimes we hold an image about a person in our mind. We create an image of that person and we hold it. And because of that, no matter what the person is saying, we are always looking at that person through that image. And the image could be 6 months old, 1 year old, 2 years old, 20 years old, could be as old as we don't know. But we just stick to that image, ignoring all the changes that have happened in that person. So once again, physically I am here and now. Mentally I might be occupied by my emotions somewhere else, and intellectually I might be occupied by the image that I have created about this person. I feel that I already know this person is like that only. They are saying this, but this is not right, that is not right, and all that. So when we talk about being in the present moment, I think it is very important that we align all these three. Not only just think about how I can be physically present or all that, or use all my listening faculty and present, but we should also be mindful that how my mind and my intellect is also painting the picture right now. That is what I will share. Weber, what do you think? Hi, Swati.
Hi, Swati. Do you have to say? Yeah, so it sounds perfect. More about that mind part. When I was listening, I felt it works more from this what I like and what I dislike. So whatever happened in the past, and I like certain way or certain things or some people or that conversation, I would like to preserve it and move ahead. And what I dislike, I don't want to do it. And the moment I see that that is not happening as per my liking or my expectations, I try to detach. Or same in the future, that those worries and anxieties can bring in, and again we are caught in that muddle of past and future. So that makes quite a bit of good sense. And aligning them, all these three.
Yeah, I feel even the person's attitude also matters a lot. So when you need to be mindful, like we are discussing about the three levels, about your present moment, the space, mind, and the intellectual. But attitude also matters a lot, that how you take it. and one needs to be self-aware while answering something like that or solving a problem. The self-awareness is very important.
Very important. And again, mindfulness is nothing but actually self-awareness. So when we are in that moment and I can feel some emotions coming up, then questioning and being aware that this is happening. So this person is speaking and I'm seeing something is rising, some feelings, some emotions are rising. So yes, 100%. So for me, I need to be self-aware that is happening. Then that's the only way I can stop it, or I can do it. Otherwise, I'll be entangled in those emotions. I wouldn't even.
I connected with all the three because when the thing which I explained was the second point, that I have some past and future experiences wherein I put that situation in that and I try to give solution. First unit of time, or you are saying place and time. Might be it is not possible to be there physically, or might be it is not possible that I am with the time, with the flow, that what is happening, realizing that I might be not in that, and try to give solution to someone else. And intellect, yes, because we always have our prejudiced mindset about something, someone, some situations, and then we just connect with that only. So mindfulness, yes, it should be there. If we are aware about ourselves and the situation very well, we have extended our awareness towards that, then only it is possible to, be biasless, I can say.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, I am there. I was listening to all the points and everything. Okay. I would agree with all of you onto the same. However, I have certain things like, fine, how exactly we keep our mind proactive and do not indulge ourselves by not being judgmental or biased. Like, that would require lots of years to practice, I believe.
Yes.
That will not happen overnight for any one of us.
No, and shouldn't expect also that it would happen overnight. Yes. Definitely won't happen. I mean, to be honest, I think for many people it doesn't even happen for whole lifetime. They just live their life like that. So self-awareness is the first step. You will observe that the only thing that you have to do is catch yourself doing it. Just be mindful that it is happening. And as you catch yourself doing that, over time, that habit will reduce automatically. Nothing more you need to do. Just only think that, happening again. And not beat yourself, not feel guilty about it. I'm just saying catch yourself, interrupt yourself. If you can see that it's happening, if you can see, like this person is talking and right now I'm feeling uncomfortable. I'm not feeling, I don't think what this person is talking is authentic, or this person says that but actually don't believe that, or whatever, just catch yourself and see what image you have built about this person. That's all. Just seeing that itself will start to reduce it.
Okay.
And then again, once you catch yourself, once you see that is happening, the next step which you can follow, this is something which we follow, which we do, is now you've become aware that this is what you think about this person. So just review that image. Is that image still correct? Is this person still the same? What you thought this person was maybe 6 months or 1 year ago, is that correct? Has that person not changed at all? And try to look for evidence for change. Don't look for evidence to support that, no, this person hasn't changed. Right? because sometimes what happens that you may be asking the question right, but then you just go in the mode where you just want to prove yourself right, and try to find a proof that says, see, I still, this person has done this again or said this again, so I'm right, this person will never change. So try to go with the intention that am I still right, or prove yourself wrong. Try to prove yourself wrong.
In an alternative way, you're trying to say that try to find a logic behind it?
Proof behind it. So let's say, for example, 6 months ago something happened, and because of that reason you saw this person acted in a certain way, said something or did something, and you made an image that this is a stupid person. Okay? They will not get it. Yes. They're just reckless, or they just make a lot of rules, or whatever. You just make up your mind, and that incident now finished. But over 6 months, every time you communicate or interact with this person, you are always a bit cautious that this person is stupid, this person takes unnecessary risks, or whatever. You have made up a conclusion, and every time you interact with that kind of caution. Now, maybe in 6 months, the person also has realized that and has done some self-work, some personal development work on themselves to improve, which you don't know. Right. Not everyone is going to come and tell you, I'm attending this class, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm reading this book, and I'm doing that. Right? You don't know their personal story. And you also don't know why that incident happened at that time. Maybe something was going on in their mind, or some personal problem was happening, or whatever. Right. So you only looked at one part of it, and you made a conclusion, and you stick to it. Now, if you catch yourself thinking that way, I'm saying question it and say, what if I'm wrong? So be okay to be wrong about this person, and try to find evidence which says in what way this person is not stupid anymore. Because if you try to look for evidence which says in what way this person is still stupid, you will find plenty of evidence anyway.
Right, because your mind has planted that thing into your head.
Want to look for that. Yeah, want to keep making you feel you are right. Because it's the ego, right, now that we know better.
Or maybe your mind is blocked at certain point in time. It does not want to look beyond than that.
Doesn't want to look beyond. It's ego.
It's also
I'm right. I'm right. I know the best. So it's the ego. The ego prevents you from proving wrong, because ego doesn't like to be proven wrong. And it has done a lot of work to attach to that image, which tells you that. So look beyond that and say, what if this person is not stupid anymore? Can I get evidence? Can I just look beyond that perception I made 6 months ago or 1 year ago? Can I find an evidence which gives me proof that this person is not really that stupid as I thought this person is?
Or maybe another way of doing this, okay, fine, at a certain instance, I find out that person is stupid, or whatever the emotions which let me decide, okay, fine, this is what this person is. Maybe a second time communication, I'm doing it with the person in order to just to understand, okay, fine, maybe I could be wrong or anything as such. Will that be effective?
Perfect. Just go open-mindedly, drop that image. Drop that perception about this person totally, and you can only drop it by first telling yourself that I want to drop it. That has to be a conscious decision, because otherwise you just keep saying we should do this, we should do that, but then that should is a very dangerous word. Should is a very dangerous word. Avoid it. Should means rules. We should do this, we should do that, but we don't.
Right.
So don't say I should do this. Say I want to do this. I am doing this. I'm now going in the talk with this person, and I'm dropping that perception that this person is stupid. Let him prove to me again that he is stupid or intelligent. So and continue to do that. So not that, let's say for example, second time also you go back and you find out, oh no, I was right, this person is still stupid. Fine, this person is still stupid. That's okay. Third time, go back again, drop that and try that again, because it's your habit we are trying to address, not the stupidity of the other person.
That's right.
It's my habit, it's my pattern that I stick to it. The more I will just keep sticking to it with a good reason, good excuse that because the other person is stupid. Fine, we are not curing their stupidity, we are curing our patterns.
We are trying to widen our own understanding.
Exactly.
There is another dimension to this, Pragya, not personally to you, but just wanting to share this in the circle, that a lot of times when people start practicing these things, when they are on the receiving end, when they feel judged or when they feel misheard, they pick up an agenda to open other person and explain them of how they should drop things about themselves. Like for example, I and Sachin had a argument and I feel I'm misheard, then I pick up an agenda and tell Sachin how he needs to drop a judgment about me. And that creates another level of complication in the relationship with me and him, because I have tried doing something that I am myself trying, have not been successful, but maybe wanting other people to do it for me because that's what is more comfortable for me. So this is over the time I've seen this tendency that kind of relapses when people practice self-awareness, but then they pick up a theme that okay, we will make other people self-aware, and then it becomes a blame and whatever, because if the other person is not matured enough and not open enough, that person might feel further judged by you now. So just a word of caution, and this is very automatic a process for a person that happens. That's how humans are built.
Yeah, it's very good point. So in other words, what Ambika is saying is that self-awareness is for me, but sometimes we go in the mode of making the other person self-aware.
Yeah.
so it doesn't work like that. The word self-awareness is for me to do. So let's not change and do anything to the other person. So let's leave them the way they are, and it is their own life journey whether they become self-aware or not. Let's not make others self-aware. Let's just make ourselves self-aware.
Yeah, and at this point, maybe, I mean, there is no harm if someone is seeking advice from you, or you are in a spot where the person is completely vulnerable and you can share a feedback or a piece of advice. That's amazing if you are able to do that for other people. It's great service. But just to defend, because this is also how
like what we are doing right now. Like we are right now exploring, talking and all that. We are sharing what we think and all that. That is fine. But in a conflict situation, if we try to improve the other person, that doesn't really work. So I think we should just only focus on ourselves and improve ourselves.
And another practice that has consciously helped me is whenever something triggers me, or someone, specifically a person triggers me, I take it as an assignment to work upon myself, and that's my assignment in self-awareness. So, for example, I share my apartment with someone, and she's amazing. Like, she's an amazing person, but she's quite clumsy a couple of times and whatever, and I get really triggered. So I tell her also, she's into this self-awareness and I'm very mature. So I tell her that, you know what, I have been triggered by this and I'm working upon it. Don't take my reactions otherwise. So if you have someone who is matured enough whom you can deal with, and they trigger you once in a while, it's a very good opportunity to look at it together. But I will again say, if only you feel the other person is matured enough.
The other person has to participate also. We can't like drag them into it, or we can't force them into it.
Otherwise,
they have to come to the table.
Otherwise it becomes further conflict, and then it's spiritual ego. It's not normal ego. It's some super ego that comes in, where everybody is trying to prove themselves better and superior or more evolved. Like there is a funny video also. There is a YouTube video on this of how spiritual people or people who are into veganism or healing or whatever, how do they fight. And it's extremely funny because that ego is further harder, I think, to break. It's better to have people who are egoistic sometimes. So this is also coming from our coaching practice. When we see people, we make them self-aware, and then they want to apply the principles they learned with us into their teams or into onto their wife or something, and it totally bounces back. In fact, backfires, I would say. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that to attention also at the same time, that working on ourselves is amazing. That's not pushing other people around.
I think it is something like a yoga practice. You do breathing. They tell you to be aware of your breathing practice, your inhaling and exhaling. So same thing, you need to acknowledge what you are thinking and feeling all the time. And your thought wanders, then again come back to the same thought, because it happens when you are doing yoga. Your thought wanders when you are breathing. 1 minute you're okay, next minute you're thinking of something else. It is something like that. So you have to keep coming back to your present stage and acknowledge what you're thinking and feeling, rather than being reactive.
Right. So I will, just because we are at the end of the call, I'll share one thought to contemplate upon for all of you. If it touches you, then please do. The thought is that who is aware that you are wandering in the thoughts and that you are centered? There is a place from where we come to know that we have understood something and we have not understood something, or we are focused or we are not focused. So there is this place in us which is aware of both, of we are being aware or we are not being aware, and that is the place to be. So just a thought to ponder, and we could definitely by all means take it in the call on Wednesday. But yeah. Sachin has something to add?
No. Iman, anything from your side? Do you want to say something?
Thank you so much. I think there are two very important points which were discussed by the team, which is the self-awareness and the perception, which something that today I looked at it in a different way. There are many situations that we face, especially during our work, during our work daily work life, where, for example, let's say you have a meeting with an individual, and that individual is showing his frustration about a particular thing, and that person is coming from a particular point that makes him share his frustration, but it's something about the personality of the person. So we have to really filter our mind and put ourselves into that particular scenario and try to understand from the person's perspective why he is showing his frustration, and not be judgmental about that particular person's personality based on previous scenarios that we have faced with the person. So it's something which actually I would say it opened my thoughts, and I would definitely make sure that I look at things in a different way going forward. And self-awareness as well, which is a very important point which was discussed. So yeah, that's from my side.
Thank you. Amen.
Thank you.
Okay, so that if anybody wants to add something in the end, yes, Swati, you have something? No. Okay, great. So thank you so much, all of you, for joining today. And it was really nice. It was very beautiful what came up. Thank you, Vaibhav, for putting that question and that thought for all of us. It has also made me ponder upon a few things. So, and I hope that you have a great Sunday and contemplate on what we have said. And most welcome to join us on coming Wednesday. So these calls are from Wednesday to Sunday at 11 a.m. and we would be doing all through April.
11 a.m. IST.
11 a.m. IST.
Iman, I suppose you are based in Dubai?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So it will be 9:30 in our time.
For you.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So 11 a.m. IST. And so looking forward to listen to all of you all over again. If you have any thoughts, sharing, please, you're welcome to share in the group and share it with everybody so that they are also encouraged to join this call and contemplate and be the better version of themselves. Yes. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sachin and Ambika.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sachin and Ambika. It was great.
Thank you for joining.
Thanks,
Hope
Thank you.
to
Thanks,
see you
everyone.
again. Thank
Sure.
you.
Thanks, Pragya.
Thanks, Pragya. Thanks, Swati. Thanks, Vaibhav.
Thank you. Thank you, Sachin and Ambika. Thank you.